Here we are for your Sunday Draftstars picks of the week. For round 7, we got the Knights and the Eels and the Panthers and the Raiders to headline this Sunday games on Anzac weekend. So we have the outside backs here. Very interesting in terms of how you want to play this one. We've got a pretty tough game and potentially be a close game between Para and Newcastle. And I think the Penrith-Canberra one might go a little bit more to Panthers' side. So I'm thinking possibly the outside backs for the Panthers could be the way to go. And Taylor May headlines at least a 16,110. I think that he can continue to score well, probably get a try or two in this one, and hit somewhere in that 45 to 60 range. Gagai has come down a little bit, so for him, he's going to be that little bit more hit and miss, I think, against the Para Eels. If the Knights come out and bounce back and play really well, then he could as well, but I think I'm probably going to go for May over Gags in this matchup. Ponga obviously coming off a superstar performance with an 87. The question for him is, can he do it against the Parramatta Eels? And I seem to think that he potentially can't, but anywhere around that 40 to 60 could be in his range as well. So up to you whether you want to play that one or not. I think you could probably go a little bit lighter. Guys like Penasini in the centres, coming up against the Knights could be an option. He's got 3 really good scores, 42 plus there at 12,000 for him. Could potentially be a good one. Bradman Best at a cheap price as well, but just the worry with him is the opponent there, unfortunately. So Charlie Staines at 9,900. I didn't think I'd be saying this, but coming off a really good game, he could get a try or two in this one as well against the Canberra Raiders. And if you wanted to play it a little bit less safe and go for Savage, Xavier Savage there on the bench, he's coming off a 9.8 there. So if you want to play that, you can, but I'd probably go a little bit lighter through the outside backs, guys like Dylan Edwards as well at that 13,300. Fairly consistent the last 3 weeks, and at that price there, I think you can do pretty well with him. Gutho is another potential option, but he flopped a little bit last week. Can he come back with a 50 odd? Well, that remains to be seen. In terms of our halves here, I think Cleary and Moses are your clear top ones. Obviously, Nath, you're going to pay an extra 3,000 for, and I think it's definitely worth it in this type of game. Plenty of goals, tries for himself. I think are on offer in this one. And Moses up against the Knights, so he'll have a bounce back. He scored 50, him and Dylan Brown both. I think Moses can score a little bit higher than he did last week and fill out that 21,000 price point. If we're going a little bit lighter, I think Tommy Starling's a good option there at 16,860. Since he's gone to 80 minutes, he's getting 55 and a 61, which I think is terrific. Obviously running the ball, tackling hard as well. I think he could be a good option for anyone's side. Abby Coruscant has been a little bit up and down as well in his scoring there. Got a 63.5 last week, so always on the radar for a good one, but can also get a 30 odd as well. So just be aware of that. I think Randall's probably the one to potentially go for either here or in the flex. He's continuing to get 80 minutes over the last few weeks, has a 42, 63, and a 52. So at 14,380, I think he could do a good job for you. Schneider we've been talking about, but he has increased his salary, unfortunately, and is up against the Penrith Panthers. So I think you can find a better spot to pick Schneider potentially next week. And the rest of the guys in here, I wouldn't be looking at picking up. Move to the forwards, and I think you can make a selection here between one of the more expensive guys in Papali'i or Isaiah Yeo. Isaiah Papali'i, has been really, really consistent. Got a 54 as his lowest score. Isaiah Yeo coming off a few lighter ones into a 78 last week. So he could have a real dominant performance, or Isaiah Papali'i could as well. So completely up to you which way you want to go with them. And I'd probably go those two over Frizzell, for example, just for this week. David Clemmer, after his superstar score last week, coming up against a strong forward pack. So there's every chance he could do that again. Probably not to the same effect, maybe a 50-odd score. But, Clem could definitely do that for you this week. If we're going a little bit lighter, I'd probably avoid someone like Kurt Mann this week. He hasn't scored as well the last few weeks, and we're just not exactly sure how many minutes he's going to get on a weekly basis. And he's someone that definitely moves out to the centres or something if there's an injury. Nathan Brown's been scoring really well, so you could plug in and play him again. Even after that lighter score last week, just wasn't his perfect game. But if we're going a little bit lighter, then guys like Corey Horsburgh, I think, is a plug-and-play guy again. 11,410. He's hitting you consistent 40 scores each and every week. 45.9 last week, and I don't see that changing this week at all. So with the news of Elliot Whitehead being out for a week or two, we have a young fella that comes in and gets an opportunity to play this week, and that's Harry Rushton. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets a start or not. We haven't heard any news at this point when I'm doing this video, so he could potentially get that starting opportunity, but have a little look at who gets that start and make a decision on that. The only other guy that I'd be looking at selecting this week is Scott Sorensen. After his, I picked him just based off his 30s to 35, 40 scores for a guy that's 9,900, being really consistent and getting good minutes. And then he came out and got that 74. So he has that in him as well. But the potential try scoring along with Spencer Leniu, both can be very good options just to plug in if you've got that little bit less salary and you want to spend it a little bit elsewhere, which I think you should in the halves and hooking position this week. Obviously you got him, and then Spencer has come off a really good score there at 56 and has a 33 and a 48. So both you're not going to go wrong with, but I'd personally go for Scott Sorensen. And I wish you all the best of luck, guys. Good luck with those tips. And good luck with how you go on those Sunday games and into the Monday ones as well. See you later, guys.